It's like something out of science fiction. Unsettling transformations are sweeping across the planet. And clue by clue, investigators are assembling a new picture of Earth. They suspect we've entered a time of faster global change than any human being has ever witnessed. Where are we headed? What can we do to alter the course? In this confusing era, only one thing is certain. These are strange days on planet Earth. Living things continually test the boundaries of their ranges. While species are ready to grab an extra inch, we've come along and offered them an extra mile. We've built a global system that transports plants and animals along with other cargo. They are sometimes passengers, sometimes stowaways, and they can now leapfrog over nearly impassable barriers. Every year brings more volume, more speed, more alien arrivals. And all of us are fueling the traffic, unwittingly, every day. With the relentless growth of global transportation, we may be pushing our luck. Insects are small, but in large numbers they can become an awesome, destructive force. Lake Victoria is the world's largest tropical lake. It's also the site of growing health threats that many researchers link to invasive species. An alien, the Nile perch, was added to the lake half a century ago. It thrived on a diet of small native fish. About 200 of these species, fish found nowhere else in the world, quickly vanished. It has been called the biggest mass extinction of vertebrates in modern times. Legend has it that a foreign engineer working in nearby Rwanda in the 1960s falls in love. The man presents his fiancée with an exotic plant, native to South America, water hyacinth. Presumably, the couple's love grows over the years. Certainly the water hyacinth does. No one is sure exactly how the foreign plant escapes. But somehow, clumps float downstream. In 1989, water hyacinth was spotted in Lake Victoria. 7 years later, the weed had clogged 80% of Uganda's shoreline. For fishermen and their families, it was a disaster. Getting out to fishing grounds became a terrible struggle. A reduced catch and lowered income threatened to trigger widespread famine. And under the suffocating blanket of weeds, rotting vegetation fouled drinking water, which comes straight from the lake. Malaria and schistosomiasis. Both diseases rely on water, and the alien plant creates stagnant pools. great breeding spots for mosquitoes carrying the malaria parasite. Meanwhile, along the edges of these floating weeds, water snails that harbor the schistosomiasis parasite find good places to lay their eggs. Asian tiger mosquitoes arrived in North America in the mid-1980s in shipments of used tires. These insects can carry West Nile virus. The United States is being invaded by fire ants from South America and killer bees, escaped African hybrids. Both species are taking human lives as they spread from the south. The brown tree snake from New Guinea has invaded the Pacific island of Guam. With its venom and strangling coils, it poses a potentially lethal threat to children. On the Big Sur coast in California, a group called Weed Warriors is slaying ice plant, a South African import which threatens native plants on bluffs and dunes. In turn, South Africans are fighting trees from Australia, trees which promote dangerous fires and divert water from people who need it. Cargo is arriving here in San Francisco Bay at twice the rate it did only 20 years ago. It's part of a global pattern of accelerating transportation. More vessels, more volume, more speed.
Some of the most outstandingly abundant species have simply arrived in the past 10 or 20 years. This is a conveyor belt of species coming through the Golden Gate.
As the globalization of trade drives the globalization of species, we're creating a strange, jumbled world, unlike anything this planet has seen. Each arriving ship is an opportunity for invaders. It's not just the containers that may hold stowaway species. Inside can be millions of gallons of seawater to help balance the ship. When a single vessel's ballast tanks are emptied dockside, hundreds of species from faraway ports may be seeking a new home.
At any given hour, on any given day, at least 7,000 species are likely in motion, traveling across oceans and between oceans, for a startling potential for what may be, in fact, one or two new invasions somewhere in the world every day.
The opportunity for species to move was limited for most of the history of life. Big animals sometimes transported smaller animals and seeds, but only as far as they could swim, fly, or walk. And from time to time, a lucky species would survive an ocean odyssey. But movement was slow and rare, until we came along. Now with the growing traffic of ships and planes, eventually, almost everything will have a chance to move everywhere. Fully interconnected, Earth will be like a planet with a single continent. Many researchers believe that a single connected piece of land can support far fewer species than the same area carved up into isolated islands and continents. Species without borders means many fewer species, which is why some predict that up to 2/3 of land mammals may become extinct. Worldwide, invasive species are already the second greatest cause of extinction behind habitat destruction.